Sorry for the delay, guys. I want to ask you a question to start. Have you ever had something you really attached to and it made you consume yourself? Like you couldn't sleep, you couldn't stop overthinking. Maybe you checked your phone all the time, refreshing your thoughts, because what if? What if this person leaves? What if this is the only shot I get? I've been there, and I felt like if I didn't give everything I had in me, I would lose everything. But the truth is, the tighter the grip is, the sometimes breaks it. And letting go isn't weakness; it's actually wisdom. And so this is what the law of detachment is about. It means you can still care about things without clinging yourself to it. Okay, so what is the law of detachment? Does it mean giving up? No, of course not, but it might sound passive because of the name. It means, you can still care about things, you can still love things, you can still try for things, but you don't destroy yourself in the process. You can still care about things deeply without needing to control how it happens, when it happens, or who it comes from. You don't attach yourself to those results because, we need to let go of some expectations we have in our life because sometimes we have these high expectations for ourselves, and when we don't achieve those, we get disappointed, and no one tells us how to survive that disappointment. Yeah, but how do we let go? While we were growing up, we were always told, chase our dream, chase love, chase what you want the most, never stop pushing, obsess, control, hustle. But no one tells us how exhausting that becomes, and when we come face to face with disappointment, no one tells us how to survive that because disappointment is always going to be there in our lives. There's no way to escape it. It's the only way to grow. And how do we face it? Well, I think the first step is to stop having high expectations for ourselves. And when we stop chasing, we're actually going to start attracting. And when we stop gripping so tightly, we're going to finally have open hands so we can receive what's actually meant for us, that life has got ready for us, and we're not forcing something else. We're not trying to strangle life into a shape it's not its own. Maybe it's supposed to go in a wavy line. Let it go in a wavy line. Don't try to strangle it into like a straight line because it's going to only destroy you, and it's only going to make it harder. My personal take is, I had a lot of toxic friendships and some people I really cared about, but it was, I always thought to myself, I known her too long, we have too many common friends. It's just, pointless to, break it off. But it wasn't bringing me peace. It was eating me up inside. But I just didn't know how to let go. And I also had some bad relationships, which also didn't bring me peace. It only, made me anxious, stressed. I couldn't focus on my work. And one day I just decided to stop. Not because I didn't care, but because I just cared about myself too much to keep on suffering like that. I just decided it was time to focus on myself instead of focus on the things that weren't meant for me. When I stopped having all these expectations of how life should go, I finally allowed myself permission to, let life give me the path I should go ahead in. What detachment actually means and what letting go actually means is that you're going to, be in peace with yourself, no matter what the outcome is. When you're going into an exam, you're probably thinking, I want 100, I want like 90, but when you get a lower score, you get really sad, you get disappointed, and sometimes people can, just give up at that point. You can just say, okay, I'm not going to do this again. I don't want to face with the disappointment again. I don't want to risk it all. This is exactly what detachment is. You have to let go of those expectations because if you don't, you're going to have those really bad moments, and then you're not gonna be you're gonna be really sad. You're gonna be like anxious all the time. So what you need to do, you're gonna let go, and then you're gonna have some space for peace. But how do we actually do this? It's easier said than done, of course. This is not an easy process. Nothing is easy in life when you want to grow. There are a few steps though to make the process easier, like awareness without judgment. You need to have awareness. Like, let's say you have a boyfriend, right, and he cheated on you 5 times, but you can't let go. You can just say, you're gonna be ashamed probably. Like, why can I not do it? Like, why can I let go? Because it's supposed to be easy because he cheated on you. But you just don't be ashamed. Just be curious, like, why is it so hard to release? Like, why am I still holding on to him so tightly? Maybe there are some underlying reasons like anxiety or the belief that you're only valuable if someone is beside you. You need to get to the root of the problem, and you can't do this if you're always ashamed of the actual problem itself. You can also, focus on the what and not the how. You can only always have a dream of pure love, let's say, but you shouldn't be focusing on how it comes to you. You can't say it has to be like a 6'5" brunette guy. You just have to focus on what you actually want. You have to get your intentions straight and release your obsession with the path, because trust me, what's meant for you will already find you. You're not going to miss it unless you're focused on something else that's not meant for you. Then you're going to need to reconnect with the present. Well, a lot of attachment is rooted from anxiety about the future, and if you're constantly thinking about how this will end, if you had a bad relationship, you'll say, maybe he'll do the same exact thing to me, or when you had a bad exam, you'll maybe thinking your other exam, maybe it will go bad as well. You just have to stop thinking about it, because every part is in your beginning, everything is in your beginning, nothing is the same as the other. It's all a way to grow. Maybe it was supposed to go bad, you can't change anything about it. You also need to make peace with not knowing. Let's say you're studying for a dream university, you had a hell of a CV, you had great grades, you also went to an exam and you think you're going to get good grades. But of course you don't know before the university accepts you, but you're still anxious, right? What is the point of being anxious at that point? You already did everything you could. There's nothing you can change anymore. So being anxious won't give you anything. So just be peaceful. Just say, whatever happens, I'm going to be peaceful with the results, because I did what I had to do. I know what I did. I know I tried hard. You are your intentions, people. Your growth, you're not your results. Results aren't always going to be good, and you have to accept that. So, I'm sure some of you are attached to something right now, and what I'm going to tell you is we have to let go. Not because it's easy, but because it's time. That's all. Thank you.
What's